Hi dear students. In the previous two sessions, we had tried to refresh our programming skills in conditional construct as well as through iteration statements. I hope you have gone through those sessions and completed the homework and you have done your homework also. All right. So today we are just going to learn about the nested loop, and before that I just wanted you to have your focus upon conversion of one loop to another. So how it is possible to convert a program that is created with one loop to another loop. So we will see with the help of an example. Okay, let us see that this conversion of, first of all, we will create a program in for loop which can be converted to while loop as well as do while. So this is a program that just prints the numbers in a reverse order, that is from 100 to 1, and we will see how it can be converted. And when using a for loop, we can do the program like this: for integer I equal to 100, I is greater than or equal to 1, I minus minus. System dot out dot println I. Okay, this is how this program can be done with a for loop. And if the same program is to be converted to a while loop, and see the difference, and here as we have already learned, these three expressions are part of a loop, that is initialization expression, test expression, and update expression. These are going to be in different places in a while loop as well as in a do while loop. Let's see. And in a while loop, the declaration of the loop control variable and the initialization will be done before the loop itself. And as part of the loop body, we will be providing the conditional expression, that is I greater than or equal to 1. And as part of the loop body, we will be providing the print statement, as well as part of the print statement also we can give the update expression. In two different ways we can give. Either so we can have the print expression here, and afterwards we can give the update expression directly like I minus minus. Or it is also possible to give, so we can avoid this step as well, and we can give this I minus minus here after, and using the postfix operation. Alright. So this is how the same loop can be converted from for loop to while loop. And now we will see how it can be done with a do while loop after. And when this same loop is to be converted to a do while, so this is how it can be done. Here also, even in a do while, the initialization, the declaration and initialization of the loop control variables will be done before the loop. And as part of the loop body, we will be giving the print expression, and this time we will write I minus minus, and after the loop, as part of at the end of the loop, we will be giving the test expression I greater than or equal to 1. All right. So this is how the various loops can be, one loop can be converted to other different loops. So this concept is clear. Having this concept clear, we will come back. We will move to the next topic, that is nested loop. And as you have already learned in class 10, a nested loop is a loop where one loop is placed inside another loop. In a nested loop, there are mainly two loops, and there can be any number of levels can be there, but for our purpose, we will be mainly focusing upon a two-dimensional nested loop. So one loop will be placed inside another loop, and one loop is called the outer loop, and there will be an inner loop as well. And for your information, and in a nested loop, the inner loop must terminate before the outer loop. So that is how it works. And anyway, now we will see, we will try to understand the concept of this nested loop with an example. And once again, a nested loop is a loop where one loop is placed inside another loop, where there is an outer loop as well as an inner loop, and the inner loop must terminate before the outer loop. To understand the working, the proper working of a nested loop, we will try to see with an example itself. And I'm not going to give you the output of this program, so try to have your guesswork regarding the output of this program. Afterwards, we will have our dry run technique to identify the output of this program as well. See how it works. So this is our program. We declare two loop control variables since there is an inner loop as well as an outer loop. All right. So we are using a for loop here for our nested loop purpose, but nested loops can be created even with while loop as well as do while loop also. And with the for loop, for I equals to 1, I is less than or equal to 3, I plus 1. So the loop is simple in itself, and as part of this is our outer loop here, and as part of our inner loop, we will be using the next loop control variable j equal to 1, j is less than or equal to 3, j plus 1. As part of the inner loop, we are going to give a printing statement, system dot out dot print. See the difference? Here we are going to use the print statement, and we will see why. So when we go through the driver, just we are printing a star as part of our output. After the inner loop, so this is the inner loop, and as part of the outer loop, after the completion of the inner loop, we are going to give another println statement, the purpose of which will be again explained during the driver. And as part of the println statement, we are not going to print anything, only I hope the purpose of this print and println statement is very clear to you. And once again, we will just have a recap. So the print statement prints the thing in the same line, and after printing the content, so it will not proceed to the next line. Whereas in a println statement, so it will move to the next line. I hope the difference is clear to you. So therefore, now see the output. So can you guess the output of this program? Try to have your guesswork. So let us have our monitor here to find the output, and let's see. Now we are going to go for a driver. So this is a nested loop, and this is the outer loop, and this is the inner loop. And as you have already seen, the outer loop will iterate 3 times, because from 1 to 3 times the outer loop will iterate, and the inner loop also iterates the same number of times, that is 3 times itself. All right. So 3 into 3, a total number of 9 iterations will be there as part of once the outer loop and inner loops are executed completely. All right. Now we will see the output through this technique, dry run technique, and there are 2 variables that are involved as part of this inner loop and outer loop. So suppose these 2 variables are declared, this line is completed, and now for I equal to 1. So the value of I is initialized to 1, I less than or equal to 3. This part is true. So therefore, it will come to the body of the loop. So therefore, the inner loop will start. Inner loop will start. So j is initialized to 1. After that, j is less than or equal to 3. Even this conditional test is true. Therefore, the body of the inner loop will be executed where system.out.print star will be printed. So a star will be printed on the screen, and the control of the cursor will not move to the next line. Instead, the cursor will remain in the same line itself. So therefore, whatever is printed next will be printed on the same line, not on the next line. All right. So after this printing this one, update expression of the inner loop will be executed. That is j plus 2. J will become 2. After that, again, the test expression of the inner loop will be executed. That is j less than or equal to 3. I hope you are already clear with the working of a for loop and how the order changes. That is from initialization, test expression, body of the loop, update expression, and again test expression and the body of the loop if the test expression is true. If not, go through our previous session and just make yourself clear regarding the proper functioning of a for loop. Now, again, once the value of j is true, 2 also, this expression is true. Therefore, once again, this loop body will be executed, that is printing another star on the same line. And the cursor will move to the next location on the same line without proceeding to the next line. And again, after that, the update expression of the inner loop will take place, that is j equal to 3. Again, this conditional test is true. And since this is true, so again the body of the loop will be executed by printing another star on the same line without proceeding to the next. Afterwards, once the value of the j becomes 4, this test expression becomes false and the inner loop terminates. And once the inner loop terminates, so whatever statement is given after the inner loop will be executed. And here, as you have already seen, so there is only a print ln statement that is given here. Therefore, so it will not print anything on the screen, but it will just move the controls. The control of the cursor was here after this. So the control of the cursor will move to the next line. Therefore, whatever is printed next will be printed on the next line instead of printing on the same line. So that is what happened in this case. So after the execution of the inner loop, and once the inner loop terminates, so the statement given immediately after the inner loop will be executed. So after executing the last statement as part of this outer loop, the control of the program will again move to the update expression of the outer loop. So that is I plus plus, thereby becoming the value of I becomes 2. So the value of I becomes 2, and again the test expression for the outer loop will be executed again. So I less than or equal to 3. Again it is true since the value is 2. Therefore, once again it will come to the loop body and the inner loop will start executing for a second time. And therefore, the value of this j will be again reinitialized to 1. Alright, j equal to 1. Again j is less than or equal to 3. Then the system.out.println star. So once again in the next line, so another star will be printed and the cursor will be in the same line again, and again j plus plus. We will proceed a little faster. So therefore, and again this expression is true. Therefore, another star will be printed. And once again after this, the update expression will take place and the value becomes 3. And again, since it is true, another star will be printed on the same line and the cursor is here. And again the j will become 4. And when the j becomes 4, the inner loop will terminate for a second time. And once the inner loop terminates for a second time, again the statement immediately after the inner loop will be executed another one. That is why, and this cursor will move to the next line. After this, once again, the update expression of the outer loop will take place for a third time and the value of I becomes 3. And even now, this test expression is true. Therefore, the body of the loop will be executed and the inner loop will start executing for a third time. And once again, so the value of j will be reinitialized to 1 for a third time, and j equal to 1, j is less than or equal to 3. Once again, this out.print statement will be executed and another star will be printed and followed by the update expression for the inner loop. And when the inner loop becomes 2 also, this condition is true. Therefore, the star will be printed for a second time and the cursor moves to the next place again. And again, the value of j will become 3. And even then, since it is true, the statement, the star will be printed for a third time again. After which, as part of the update expression, the value of j becomes 4 and therefore the inner loop terminates since the test expression is false. And once the inner loop terminates, definitely this statement will be executed once again on the control of the cursor. Cursor will move to the next line again, and after which the update expression of the outer loop will take place, and when the value of I becomes 4, this test expression of the outer loop becomes false, and even the outer loop terminates. Therefore, executing a nested loop, the outer loop as well as the inner loop terminates, and this is the final output that we get once this nested loop is executed. And here there are few points to note down. You know that, so since there are 3 rows, definitely, and there are certain things that you have to understand as part of this nested loop. So the outer loop is responsible for the row, and the inner loop is responsible for the column. As part of our next example, we will learn this part more clearly, but still, okay, all right. So the outer loop is responsible for the rows, whereas the inner loop is responsible for the column. So this is how a nested loop functions. I hope the things are clear to you. And now let us see how this program can be changed with some other examples as well. So this is the output. We hope you have noted it down. And instead of this, let us say that this was the output that was required. So first of all, in our first part of our first example, we had seen the program first and followed by finding the output of this program. And now we are going to see the output first, and we'll see how a program can be created for a particular output. Suppose this is the output that we need. Three. All right. See, as you have seen, so 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3, 3. So this is the output that is needed for us. And definitely, as you have seen, there are 3 rows as well as 3 columns. So the outer loop and inner loop should iterate 3 times, exactly in the same order as in our previous program. So there is not going to be much change here and here. But the only change that will be required will be in the print statement, where instead of printing a star, we have to print the row value. So as you have seen, it is the row value that is printed here. The row numbers are being printed here. That is the first row, second row, and third row. And as we have already learned, so the outer loop is responsible for the rows, whereas the inner loop is responsible for the column. Therefore, the value, if you wanted to print the row value, definitely the loop control variable for the outer loop must be printed to produce this output. Therefore, so as part of the print statement, we will be printing the value of I. So therefore, in each iteration, the value of I will be printed. As you know, in the first iteration of the outer loop, the value of I is 1. So definitely that 1 will be printed in the first row 3 times. And in the second iteration, the value of I will be 2, and therefore 2 will be printed 3 times. And in the third iteration, the value of I is 3, therefore 3 will be printed 3 times. So this is how an output can be produced for this purpose also. And now let us just try to change these values in a different way. Instead of printing the row value, suppose if you wanted to print the column values like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 times. So instead of the row values, here the column values are being printed. And as we have already learned, so inner loop is responsible for the column. Therefore, only one change is needed to be done here to change this output into the column value. And instead of printing I, we will print the loop control variable that is responsible for the inner loop, that is J. And thereby printing all the column values that are responsible. All right. So this is how this output can be produced. All right. Now, so then all our 3 examples that we have seen were just having only 3 rows and 3 columns. Now we will just have some changes how it can be done. And suppose this is going to be the output for our next program. Let us say 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 5, 5. Suppose this was the output that was needed. In our earlier 3 examples, so all the values of the rows and columns were equal, that is 3 each, but here there is going to be a change. And if you wanted to produce this output using this for loop, so definitely using this nested loop, definitely only one simple change is to be made, and before that it is necessary that you should identify the number of rows as well as the number of columns as part of this output. As we have seen, there are 5 rows involved in this output, whereas only 2 columns are involved. So it is very clear, since the outer loop is responsible for the rows, the outer loop should iterate 5 times. And the value of the outer loop should iterate from 1 to 5, so 5 times, whereas the inner loop needs to be iterated only 2 times, since there are only 2 columns. And definitely, as we have seen here, it is the row value that is being printed here. Since the row values are being printed here, so it is not j that is needed to be printed, but it is I, the loop control variable for the outer loop, is to be printed as part of this one. And with this program, definitely this output will be produced. Alright, this is how we can change the output for the various columns. And now you have seen how different outputs can be produced using by changing the iteration of for the outer loop as well as the inner loop. The only thing is to keep in mind is outer loop is responsible for the rows, whereas the inner loop is responsible for the columns. And accordingly, if you change the iteration, you will be able to do that. Now let us see how some changes in the update expression also get affected when a different types of output come. Suppose the output that was needed for our next program is like this: 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, and 2, 4, 6. Suppose this was the output that was needed. In this case, as you have already seen, there are 4 rows which are involved here, whereas only 3 columns are involved. And as it is already clear, it is not the row value that is printed, but it is the column value that is being printed here. Therefore, and definitely, the outer loop should iterate 4 times. The outer loop should iterate 4 times, but the value of the outer loop doesn't matter. The outer loop variable doesn't matter, because the inner loop variable is going to be printed, since the column values are being printed here. And therefore, j should iterate, the inner loop should iterate 3 times, but it is not going to be from 1 to 3, but the values of the inner loop control variable must iterate through 2, 4, and 6. So definitely there is going to be some changes as part of the inner loop. So j should start with 2, j is less than or equal to 6, and it is here the change takes place. As you know, instead of using an increment operator to increase the value of a variable by 1, we will be using a shorthand assignment operator to increase the value of this variable by 2, that is j plus equal to 2. Therefore, the values of the inner loop control variable will iterate through 2, 4, and 6, thereby producing this output, and j can be printed here. And using this program, this particular output will be displayed. This is how it can be done. Alright, so this second is also clear. Now there is another kind of pattern printing, and definitely the output is going to be a little different. Since this program is clear to you, have a final look at it before we proceed to our next example, which will use a different technique to produce a different type of output. Alright, so we are going to move to the next program with a different type of output here. And here the output is going to be 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. Here the pattern of the output is little different. So the row numbers are 3, but the column numbers are not same. The column numbers are flexible, so it changes. In the first row, only one column is there, whereas in the second row, two columns are there, and in the third row, three columns are there. And in order to produce this output, so definitely we have to make some changes as part of the inner loop and outer loop. And these are the changes that are to be made. See, here which value is printed? It is the row value that is printed. It's not the column value which is printed, it is the row value which is printed. Therefore, the value of the outer loop control variable, that is I, should iterate through 1 to 3. I equal to 1, that is 3 times, causing 3 rows to occur. I less than or equal to 3, I plus 1. Now, as part of the inner loop, j can iterate with 1, start with 1, the value of j or the value of the inner loop. The inner loop iteration should take place 1 time in the first row, 2 times in the second row, and 3 times in the third row. Therefore, definitely we will start with 1 and less than or equal to. Here we cannot put 3, even we cannot put 1 also, or even 2. We cannot put a fixed number here. Therefore, we will use a variable that changes. That is the variable responsible for the outer loop. All right. So therefore, so j less than or equal to I and j plus. Now you will see in the first iteration of the outer loop, the value of I is 1 and j will iterate from 1 to 1. That is only 1 time. In the second iteration of the outer loop, the value of I will be 2 and j will iterate from 1 to 2, that is 2 times. And third time, the inner loop will iterate from 1 to 3, that is 3 times. And the printing that takes place will be the loop control variable responsible for the outer loop, that is I. And using this program, this particular output will be produced. This is how this output can be produced as part of this one. Now we are just going to make a slight change to this output as well. Instead of printing these row values, we are going to have our printing through the column values. And let's see the difference. 1, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. See, there is a slight change when compared to the previous output that we have produced. In the earlier case, so we were printing the row value, whereas in this particular output, we are going to print the column value. And if you wanted to print the column value, only one slight change is to be made as part of this program. And since the number of rows and columns and the pattern is almost same, and only one change is to be made as part of this program, and that is going to be, instead of printing the loop control variable that is responsible for the outer loop, so we are going to print the loop control variable that is responsible for the inner loop, that is j. And as you know, the inner loop control variable is responsible for the column. So therefore, definitely the column values will be printed, and if you just print the j here, and this is how it can be accomplished. All right. So this is, and there are little more programs. So before proceeding to that one, I have a final look at this program, and we are going to have few homework as part of this session. Before that, have a final look at this program before it gets erased, after which we will be having certain homework using this nested loop, and definitely the homework should be to produce certain output patterns using different ones. So have a final look. I hope things are clear to you, and never forget to try this dry run technique going through the iteration. And because this technique will help you definitely to understand what is happening in each part of the iteration and what happens to the loop control variable and the value. All right. So this dry run technique will definitely help you to understand this nested loop concept in a better way, and thereby making it possible to make you understand the various steps that are involved at each level of iteration. All right. Now be ready with your notebook and writing materials once again to write your homework as part of this nested loop. And your homework is write program to create the following output using nested loop. Right? So write program to create the following output using nested loop. That's our program. And definitely this is going to be your first output as part of the homework. This is going to be 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 7, 7, and 4. This is your first homework. I hope it will be clear to you. So, and your second homework is to produce the next output. 8, 8, 8, 6, 6, 6, 4, and 2. Here you can see, so the values are coming from top to bottom, so from 8 to 2. So you must be careful. Definitely the raw values are printed here, but still you must be careful with the output that is produced and the values that are initialized with the loop control variable. And our third homework will be ten, 20, 20, 40, 50. Only this is related to the update expression as well as the initialization that you have to take care, and definitely the test expression also will be different. I hope you will be able to do these 3 homework as part of our nested loop. So practice, do that one. And in the next session, definitely we will discuss about arrays, and definitely even these nested loops are also, and loops are also used for the processing of arrays, and nested loops are also used for processing 2-dimensional arrays. And before that, so keep doing this homework and practice this nested loop technique as well. So until we meet in the next session to discuss about arrays,